What is going on, everybody, and welcome to MTG Deep Dive. So first of all, if you somehow found me from my main channel, MTG Productions, kudos to you because I never promoted this channel. But yes, MTG Productions is my main channel where I talk about tech. Right now, we're almost near 53,000 subscribers with our goal of being 100,000 very soon. But here, I want to go more into the deep dive, talk more and go into detail about the phones that I get to use, some of the comments and thoughts that I have that don't make it into the videos. Kind of want to share everything here and essentially make this video like 35, 40 minutes. So treat it like a podcast. If you're going to go to work, if you're going to take a walk, whatever the case may be, just open up and listen. You don't really need to watch this video either. You can just kind of listen onto it, which is sometimes what I do when I'm heading to work. Instead of watching the video, sometimes I just want to listen to it. But yeah, let's talk about the iPhone 17, because here's the thing. I've been using this every single day for the past month, and now that the launch buzz has cooled off, kind of want to just share with you guys what it's actually been like to live with the 17 Pro, not the Pro Max. This is not a spec rundown. Yes, I may share some specs, but it's not just going to be a straightforward spec rundown. It's going to be about everything I think about this, the experience of it all. So overall, like when we take a look at this design, it's definitely different. It still has that iPhone DNA, but it's definitely different. And from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 16, or the 11 Pro to the 16 Pro, essentially Apple kept the same design. If you take a look at it from the back especially, same camera layout, same everything. But with the 17 Pro, yes, same camera layout, but it has a camera plateau. It's now aluminum unibody with a cutout for glass to make use of MagSafe charging. Apple reverted from using titanium and they switched to aluminum. And it's a first time in a long time that they're using aluminum with their Pros. In fact, I think their Pros always were stainless steel, then switched to titanium, and now switched to aluminum. So I don't really think it's reverting back to aluminum. Correct me if I am wrong, but that's how I do know it. And this phone is also heavier because it also holds a bigger battery, which I will get to later on. But does that really matter from day to day? No, I mean, using it, I don't really notice too much of a difference when holding this when compared to my 16 Pro, which I have now officially traded in for the 17 Pro. Now, here's the thing. This deep blue that I have, I really like it. It has a matte finish to it. It's great. I would have loved to have seen a space black 17 Pro, but maybe we will in the spring, who knows. But until then, I think deep blue is the correct color. Again, that's just my take. Some may agree, some may not. Everyone has their own opinion. That's completely okay. Everything else about the phone, I like this new exterior look on the back. It feels more industrial. It just feels more pro. I think Apple took away the elegance, the beauty, the luxurious look and feel of the Pro and just like threw that into the iPhone Air, which I am planning on reviewing and using it sometime in the near future. So Apple, I feel like, went towards the industrial route, and this does feel more like a Pro device. It's still comfortable to hold in the hand. I really do like it. Matte finish all around. Same button layout as its predecessors. The action button for me has always just been like the mute switch, so I haven't really customized it to anything else. As of late, like right now, it's just to kind of use to unlock my car, which I'm actually gonna go back and lock. Should probably go lock that, there we go. And then the camera control, I completely disabled that. Like I genuinely don't use it. I've seen one person use the camera control. That's when I went on a trip to Niagara Falls, like a day trip. I live fairly close, but I saw one person, it was more than likely a tourist using it. And I'm like, oh, sweet, that's actually cool. Like, I see why, it makes sense. But for me, it just, I don't know, I just couldn't get used to it. So I completely turned it off. Didn't like it whatsoever. So yeah, that's kind of what I have to say. Now, here's the thing about this whole dilemma with the aluminum body and, the anodization with the coloring and it's chipping away and things like that. I've been using a case for the past month and a screen protector So I haven't noticed any like coloring on my 17 Pro. So I'm good with that, but I hope I don't come across any chips either. So far, so good. Like we're good with not having any problems of that sort. So it's still kind of pristine. Now it does gather dust and stuff when I'm using a case, but that's to be expected. And then with the display, you know, I have the screen protector, so I'm being extra careful with it. But Apple does claim, you know, ceramic shield too, which is better with scratch resistance and also just with cracks and stuff. And I you know, agree with Apple. Like I trust them. I'll tell you that. I trust them, but anything can break too. Like I trust that it's more durable than its predecessor, but it's still glass. It's still glass. Like it's resistant. It's not glass. It's not shatter proof. So I'll still rock a case. They're expensive devices. And what I like to do is, you know, when I'm at home, I'm a little bit more careful when using it. Or if I'm at my desk like I am right now, I have my case off, but if I'm like outside, I put on my case no matter what. I want to make sure I take good care of my phone. I want to protect it at all costs. Like I got to be careful with this. It's an expensive phone, and Apple got rid of the $999 price tag. So this is $1099, but it starts at 256 gigs. So did they really raise the price? No, they didn't really raise the price. They just made the base price higher by getting rid of the base 128 gig model. So they didn't really raise it. If they did, they would make 256 gigs $11.99 instead of $10.99. But overall, like I like this design. I really, really do. But maybe Apple, you know, can get rid of the camera control. And there was rumors about a second button. And no. We don't need that stuff. We, as in a lot of other people, don't want camera control. We don't want a second button. Just keep it nice and clean, because we're still hearing rumors of Apple getting rid of the USB-C port to make it fully MagSafe. I kind of see it like I've actually shifted a lot of my charging to MagSafe, and I'll talk about that later. But when it comes to like transfer speeds, and when I'm using like a mic, for example, I still use USB-C. Like, what if I want to use a wireless mic? Like, how am I going to do that? You know, so I think USB-C is here to stay for a little bit longer, and I hope Apple, you know, doesn't get rid of it anytime soon, because I still use it other than for charging. Like, I use it to attach external devices like SSDs, and again, like my DJI mic. So please don't get rid of it. This display is phenomenal. I absolutely love this display. It's much brighter outdoors, 3,000 nits of peak brightness, and I've had no visibility issues whatsoever. It's great for FaceTime calls, it's great for watching YouTube videos, your content consumption, playing games, all that great stuff. It's awesome. And just the fact that like it's super thin bezels and it's a Pro without having a larger display, I'm all for it. 120 Hertz Pro Motion. This is what it's about. And surprisingly, this pretty much same display is on the iPhone 17, which I will make a future video about, so stay tuned. But it's the best from Apple. It's the best display that Apple has, you know, released. Now, Dynamic Island, at this point, I've gotten used to it. I would like to see like an under display Face ID camera, get rid of it, have a full display. That would be awesome. But for right now, we got Dynamic Island, and there were rumors of the Dynamic Island on the iPhone 17 series to, you know, especially with the Pros being smaller in size. That didn't happen. Maybe with the 18, who knows? But I'm fine with it. I'm content with it. I like this display. Slightly larger than, I think it switched with the 16 Pro. 16 Pro became 6.3 inch, but predecessors were 6.1. This is the new mini size. 6.1 to 6.3 inch display size phones are the new minis. And this is still a large phone. Still is, but it's definitely more compact than using the Pro Max. I'll tell you that. I really like this display, and it only makes sense, right? Display is the part of the phone that we use the most. It's the part where we interact, right? So it should make sense to have a phenomenal display, and I think Apple did a phenomenal job here. Again, like, it's really responsive. It's great. If your job is outdoors all the time, you're not gonna have any problems. If you're using your phone for a lot of content consumption, you're not going to have any issues. The blacks are really black. It's an OLED display, very vibrant. I have no complaints here with the display. Software experience, performance, thermals, let's talk about those stuff. So iOS 26 has been a great upgrade, if you ask me. Why? Because I like changes in user interface, and we got that here, a visual user interface with iOS 26. I like it. With this phone, I haven't come across any bugs, no hiccups, no stutters, none of that stuff that I've had with the 16 Pro when I was running the stable version on that. So it's nice to see that I don't have any problems here with the 17 Pro. Customization, yeah, there's a few, you know, widgets and stuff like that, but still not, you know, Android level customization. So, hopefully Apple does add more customization features in the future. Apple Intelligence, throw that out the window, which is open right there. Just throw it out because, like, I don't use it. Who uses Apple Intelligence? It was a flop. It was overpromised and underperformed. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Apple Intelligence. Like, yeah, I could go more into detail, but it's like, why waste your time? I don't know anybody who has an iPhone that talks about Apple Intelligence. It's literally like ChatGPT. It's literally like Grok. It's Meta AI. It's all of the other AIs, but Apple Intelligence, no one uses. Everyone that I know who has an iPhone, they are always using ChatGPT. Now, I have other ones because obviously I test them out, but I also use them for my business. But ChatGPT is up there. Like, it's going to be hard for people to pivot from that to Apple Intelligence, which Apple had, you know, said, hey, we're going to use ChatGPT integration, stuff like that. But just the rollout process was terrible. The revamped Siri never even happened. Like, what is going on? Apple just needs to take a step back and take their time with Apple Intelligence. I still don't think anyone should be picking up a new phone just for AI features. I personally don't see it as a reason to buy a new phone. Like, it's not convincing enough for me yet, because at some point those AI features will start slowly trickling down to older devices. Now, real world use, my performance with the A19 Pro chipset, it's been great. I don't do any benchmarks. I talk about this on my main channel too. I don't go and do any benchmarks, see what the numbers are, because yeah, if you put it in numbers and stack it against like the Pixel 10 Pro, this is going to blow it out of the park, because that has a Tensor G5. It's, you know, not the most powerful chipset, but that doesn't really play a role in day-to-day experience. Like, what, you're going to pick that up to, just because it has really great numbers and benchmark scores, you're going to pick it up and just use it for calling and texting here and there, or sending emails once in a while? No, like, I just can't justify doing benchmark scores for my experience. Others may for theirs, but for me, it's not. Like, I don't care about the benchmarks. Yeah, it does contribute to having the phone's processor being really powerful, but real world use, this opens up every app that I want without any issues. It doesn't take forever. The gaming is really, it's buttery smooth, doesn't drop frame rates, daily tasks. Again, everything on my home screen, from my Tesla app to YouTube Studio, Gmail, to my widgets like the weather widget, which I now use every single day, Notion, which I use to run my MTG social media business. And then we have like ChatGPT, I use every single day. Again, Grok, I use Meta AI. I have the Meta Ray-Bans that I love using to record footage, like especially like POV, like Tesla, like driving content, stuff like that. It's great. I have the health app, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Ultra Human, the Delta app that I used to play old school games like Pokemon Crystal. And then I have obviously photo, video, shopping, finance, social media folders. These are things I'm using almost every day, and I've had no problems whatsoever. Now, thermal management has also been really good, and Apple switched to aluminum because it's better with thermal and heat management, but they also put inside a vapor cooling chamber, which does really great. I've had one instance where this phone did heat up, and it was like not to the point where I can't hold my phone anymore, but it got a tad bit warm. I was on a FaceTime call and using it, just multitasking, using another app at the same time. It got a tad bit warm, definitely not as warm as my 16 Pro, and not to the point where I had to get off the FaceTime call and let my phone cool. I was still able to use both at the same time. Use apps running in the background while on that FaceTime call. It was great. This has 12 gigs of RAM on board, so like it handles it really well. The RAM handling is great. If you have a bunch of apps open, you're just switching back and forth. It doesn't start it from scratch again, so it's awesome there. I think year over year, the 17 Pro is the biggest upgrade in the Pros, if you ask me. It's great. It genuinely feels faster and smoother and just more reliable than the 16 Pro. I loved my 16 Pro because it was my first Pro that was not a Pro Max. Like it did everything the Pro Max did, but just being more compact. But oh my, the past year with that phone and the thermals, the software experience were just so bad. Like I had to put my phone down to stop using it because of the bugs, because of how much it would overheat. I don't experience any of that with the 17. Now I have seen other people talk about how they've experienced not so great things with their 17 Pro or Pro Max with bugs and some, slightly getting warm to the touch. But I guess it changes from user to user. My experience, I've had none of those happen to me, and I hope it stays that way. So far, no issues since launch. Obviously, I'm going to continue to use this until the iPhone 18 series does come out next year. But for right now, this is the best phone that Apple has to offer. It's the best one on the market. So yeah, I wouldn't go in that direction of, oh, the iPhone 18 Pro is coming out. Let's wait until the iPhone 18 Pro. Well, once that comes out, guess what? Oh, the iPhone 19 Pro, the iPhone 20, whatever, 20th gen is going to come out. Let's wait for that. That comes out, and so on and so forth. So it's just a continuing cycle. You got to break out of it. Just pick up the current phone on the market. If you were 2-3 weeks away from the latest iPhone launch, I'd say wait, because Apple's going to release a new iPhone. Just wait 2-3 weeks. But if you're 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, whatever, 2-3 months even before the official launch of the latest iPhone, I would say pick it up. No need to wait. You're already getting a good phone. It's not going to be a huge generational upgrade that you're going to miss out on so many things. But overall, the software performance has really been great. The thermals also really great. Now, the cameras. So for the longest time on my main channel, I would talk about how I'm not a camera guy. I don't go into camera specs or anything like that. But wow, I love taking photos and videos with the iPhone 17 Pro. Any chance that I get, especially if I know I'm going to be using it for sharing, content consumption purposes, for sharing for other people to consume content, I will use the iPhone 17 Pro camera setup because it's really good. So the main sensor for daily photos, the performance is great. I love the results I get with photos. The telephoto is great. You get 4x, 8x optical zoom. Now it doesn't have 100x zoom like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, but that is completely okay. I'm fine with that. Just triple camera setup, all 40 megapixels. So when you're switching from one to another, the consistency is clear. You won't have any problems. The low light and HDR processing is improved. The video quality is just hands down the best. If you're going to pick up a phone primarily for video recording, you pick up an iPhone. Other devices do it well, but not as consistent and as great as the iPhone. So in real world use, what do I use it for? Again, I'm using it mainly to, take photos and of, friends and family, keep those as memories, obviously, but also for sharing content. This video, for example, is actually being recorded on the front-facing camera of the iPhone 17, which also got an upgrade, and I'm going to be talking about that in a moment. But I'm using the iPhone 17 Pro cameras, rear-facing as well as front-facing cameras, for capturing content, photos and videos, sharing it online. That's one of the main purposes I use my iPhone for, is to make sure I get good quality content. And this is super reliable. And I talk about it all the time. If you have, and right now, for those who have an iPhone 17 Pro and are still debating on, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know if I should. I don't have the right camera equipment. I don't have the right lighting equipment or the right, audio equipment, whatever. put those aside for now, because when I started, I didn't have those either in 2014, and I had to make do with whatever lighting I had. I had to make do with my bedroom lighting. I had to make do with an LG G3 to record footage. I had a Samsung laptop with Windows Movie Maker. I was always hoping the weather would be great so I can record outdoors, like using just natural sunlight to make use of that. So it's like, do you need all that stuff to start a YouTube channel or to start making content on Instagram or TikTok, whatever the case may be? No, you already have a great setup right here. Your phone can do a lot of things, especially with a 17 Pro, much more, like 100 times better than the LG G3 I had when I started my MTG Productions channel in 2014. So yeah, camera is great in pretty much every single department. You got the wide, the ultra wide, as well as the telephoto lens. And I gotta tell you, I've come to love using the ultra wide. Ultra wide lens is actually one of my favorite. If you got rid of the telephoto, I'll be completely honest with you, I wouldn't mind. But if you got rid of the ultra wide, I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're taking a step back. Like, no, let's not do that. Let's keep the ultra wide and get rid of the telephoto. Like, that's how much I love the ultra wide lens. Now, there is AI features, and the only ones I use is Cleanup, which is essentially like Pixel's Magic Eraser, Samsung's generative edit, where it gets rid of stuff, but it doesn't really do a good job. So I'm lucky enough to have Samsung's generative edit on devices, as well as, you know, the Magic Eraser or Pixel's Eraser on my Pixel 10 Pro. Those do a much better job. They're more accurate. So I don't really use too many AI features, which is why I didn't really talk about AI that much either. Like, I briefly just spoke about it, but I didn't talk about it too much. So there is that. I don't think anyone, again, at this point is buying a phone based on AI experiences. I don't know if you are, please let me know. Now, putting the camera aside, well, before we put that aside, let's talk about the front-facing camera. It's got an improved 18 megapixel front-facing camera. It has center stage, which is great for video calls, but because it has a squared out lens, you can record both, or you can take photos too, as well as record videos horizontally or in landscape mode while the phone is still in vertical mode. So you don't need to shift your phone like this, and I'll even go like, so for example, actually let's kind of, let's switch back, go to the front facing camera, just like that, bam, there we go. Boom. So like, I don't need to switch my phone into, you know, landscape while I'm taking a selfie or anything like that. It has dual capture, which I think is a huge plus for those getting into content. If you want to like record videos about, you know, showcasing products, like product reviews, whatever the case may be, or showcase like something going on behind you, but you also want to capture your reaction, these are great like videos for reaction type content. Awesome. Or product reviews. Great. I think dual capture is a feature that can be used and made use of when capturing content. Honestly, like I'm a huge advocate for starting a YouTube channel with your phone, which is your iPhone. And I'm still using one to this day. Like I'm using an iPhone 17 to start this channel here, like trying to prove that you don't need the latest and greatest camera. You don't need all that stuff to start making content. You just need an iPhone. Or if you have an Android, you can use your Android too, because phones are that good. If you don't need to have the latest MacBook or the latest computer, PC. You just need something to start off. You don't even need that stuff. If you have an iPad, you have Final Cut Pro. If you don't have an iPad, you still have your iPhone. iMovie is on here. If you want to use CapCut, which they've changed their policies and stuff, so like there's been a lot of backlash with CapCut recently, but if you want to use iMovie, go ahead, use iMovie. There are other video editing tools as well on the iPhone or an iPad if you have one. But let's shift into the battery and like the battery life, the charging speeds, all that stuff. So I'm gonna pull up a photo. Let's see if I can go into my library. And this was yesterday. This was yesterday at the time of this recording, the night before, at 10:26 p.m. look at this. Look at this. So I ended 4% charge, 7 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time. And this was a heavy use for me. Like, I was using my phone all day. 7 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time. Nearly 8 hours of screen on time with the 17 Pro. This phone easily lasts me an entire day. No issues whatsoever. And also, just kind of admire that setup right there, which I am working on kind of organizing and clearing up. So if you want to give me some ideas of what I can do there. But yeah, I do collect Pokemon. And I've been in the Pokemon space since I was 4, so more than 2 decades at this point, going well into, no, not really 3 decades. Well, little halfway there. But anyway, I definitely, collect Pokemon and play the game still. So yeah, I have really enjoyed the battery life on this. My battery health is still 100%, so that's a huge plus. The standby time is phenomenal. Like, I lose like maybe 1%, at most 2% overnight. And because I don't need to worry about charging all day, just plop it on my MagSafe chargers. I have ESR Qi 2 MagSafe chargers essentially everywhere in my house at this point. When I go to bed, I just place it horizontally and it just, goes into its standby mode. And like I'm essentially all set to go there. Like, I don't need to worry about charging whatsoever. It does have USB-C charging, so that's great. Like, if I need to top up on fast charging in my car, especially because like my Tesla chargers, I don't like the wireless chargers. They make the phone, it's not just iPhone too. Like, I put any phone there, it gets abnormally hot. So I don't use my Tesla's like inbuilt wireless chargers. I usually just charge it via USB-C. That's if I'm in the car, but everywhere else, like at work, at home, my living room, my bedroom, I have MagSafe chargers. That's like 95% of the time I use it with this case from Thinborn. And yeah, I've tried other cases too. And while I like other cases, I always come back to Thinborn. It's just minimal and clean. That's just, and yes, while Thinborn did send out the case for me to check out, I genuinely enjoy. And I've been using the cases for going on to 2 years now. I recently found them out, been going, using their cases for, like I said, going on to 2 years, and it's been awesome. Would I call this an all-day phone? Yes, I am a heavy user. I'm using my phone to play games. I'm using my phone to edit and record content. I'm using my phone for content consumption. I'm using my phone for just phone things like calling people, because I actually prefer calling over texting. And it's been great. Oh, and on the topic of call quality is also great. I think that does come down to a preference of which carrier you use. With my 17 Pro, I do have T-Mobile. It's been great. Call quality has been clear and I've had no problems or complaints. I do use it for texting. I do use it for browsing the web and Notion and all that stuff. I'm a heavy user. I'm always on my phone because a lot of the things I do on my phone, excluding like messaging friends and family and gaming, revolves around the business. Like, yes, while I do those things, 90% of the stuff I'm doing on my phone, if you see me on my phone, 90% of it's probably for my business. Whether I'm staying up to date with my social media platforms, whether I'm editing a video or just drafting something on Notion. Yeah, like I'll text here and there, or I'll take phone calls, but that's like 10%. 90% of the stuff is meant for my business, for business purposes. I'm a heavy user. Lasts me all day. It'll probably last you all day, maybe well into your second day. Who knows? Now, this does start at a price of $10.99 rather than $9.99. Apple did get rid of 120 gigs, which was a good call. I do appreciate it. So they didn't really raise the price. 256 gigs is the base. It's expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's expensive, but it's still a good phone. Like, if you can justify it, I'm not going to sit here and try to justify it for anybody, but if you can justify $10.99 for 256 gigs, then go right ahead. Do keep in mind, if you want to go all out and get like a 2 terabyte iPhone, you have to go for the 17 Pro Max. They don't have one for the iPhone 17 Pro, just the 17 Pro Max. So do keep that in mind. Like, you're paying a lot for extra storage. I did trade in my 16 Pro, so I got a value of $580 from that. So I did get this about half off, which is great. If you have an iPhone 16 Pro though, should you upgrade? No. You're probably like, well, you did. Yeah, I did, because I talk about the latest tech. Like, I use them and I review them, and this kind of what I do for a living. So for me, it only makes sense to upgrade to the latest phone on the market. You can probably say, well, just pick it up, review it, and then return it. Yes, but there are some devices that I like to pick up long term and make content after using it long term, and this is just one of them, the iPhone 17 Pro. I think this is a good value though. You're getting upgrades in every single department that Apple has not done with their previous generations. Like, they've made some improvements in like a couple departments here and there, but this year I truly think Apple sat down and was like, how do we make the battery bigger? Because the physical battery is larger in here. How do we make the cameras better? Oh, okay, let's make it a triple 48 megapixel camera setup. How do we make the software experience better? Let's just make full iOS 26. Let's, change up the user interface, add new features. How do we make it more powerful? A19 Pro chipset. How do we make it not overheat? A vapor cooling chamber. Change the actual material you use to aluminum body. Like, they went all out in every single department, if you ask me. Now, there are a couple of miscellaneous things that I kind of want to quickly just talk about. One of them is going to be the anti-reflective coating, and it's there. It's present on every single iPhone this year, or the iPhone 17 series. However, it's not as great as the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. I'll tell you that. It's still, reflective. Not as reflective as the 16, or I'll take that back. Yeah, it's less reflective than the iPhone 16 series, but it's, hold up, I'm getting so confused, it's getting pretty late at night. The iPhone 16 Pro, I'm gonna change up everything I just said. The iPhone 16 Pro shows a lot of reflection. 17 Pro doesn't show as much, but the S25 Ultra is even better. That shows even less reflection. There we go. Kind of had to clear things up for a moment. I just had a little brain freeze right there. But overheating rumors that I've seen, throw that out the window. You won't come across it. Action button, capture button, throw it out the window. You won't use them. At least I don't really use the camera control button. I'll put it that way. Action button, yeah. I've just recently switched it to unlocking my phone. And then like this whole the correct color. It's a preference. Go to your Apple store, go to your local carrier store, check it out, see which one is the device color you want to use, but they're all great colors. I just like the deep blue the most. So yeah, after a month, this phone has been great. Would I recommend this? Yes, but only for those who just want the small extra pro stuff. Just want extra battery life, a little bit more of a camera experience, and better thermal management. Essentially, go with the iPhone 17 Pro. If not, you may want to stick with the iPhone 17 because that's also a really good phone. And I like to say this all the time. If you're eyeing any phone on the market, I would say think about the experience rather than just the specs. Sometimes specs don't tell the entire story. Design, it's a plus. Camera, plus. Software experience, plus. Battery, plus. Like, that's what I have to say for the iPhone 17 Pro. And essentially, that's just my MTG deep dive with this device. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And if you did, definitely be sure to, like I do in my same videos, in my MTG ones, superman the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it will help the channel out a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. I hope you guys did enjoy this type of long form, just me talking. I personally just want to, I was looking for some sort of an outlet to just talk. And hopefully this is one of those outlets for me to just talk more about the phone and go more into detail instead of just hitting the main points and keeping it, 10, 15, max 20 minutes. I really want to keep MTG Deep Dive a real deep dive and just go into everything that I've experienced and kind of sometimes get off track too. But hey, I hope you guys did enjoy. That's been my deep dive with this device, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.